Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and if we've never met before, hi, my name is Michelle and this is Metals and Magic, and this is a brand new series that I am doing here on YouTube, which is a Runday Monday series. This is actually episode 2, so if you haven't seen episode 1, make sure I'll link it up here and down below so that you guys can follow along for the journey. But today's episode is all about my different training plan that the training plan that I have in store for me for this year, and what races that I have planned for 2021. So if you are looking for some help along the way, I hope you keep watching. All right, so 2021 training plan. So I will tell you, I have done so much research, y'all, on different training plans, and if you've never done any kind of research, or maybe you're brand new and you're kind of looking at, getting into the swing of things, I just want to tell you, don't get discouraged, don't get overwhelmed, because I got very, very, very overwhelmed doing initial research on kind of like what to do for training for a 5K, a 10K, a half marathon. It was really, really overwhelming. So I actually ended up reaching out to several friends who are veteran runners, and I'm so thankful that they kind of guided me along the way, gave me some really great advice. Definitely helped me to not get overwhelmed, because I was really, really definitely getting overwhelmed in the beginning. So what I ended up deciding to do is I actually found the Couch to 5K app, and that's actually what I'm going to be focusing on for the next 30 days. And then eventually I'll end up, including a 10K training plan from Jeff Galloway. That will be the next step. And then including a half marathon training plan by Jeff Galloway as well. So I will link those training plans down below if you're interested. The beautiful thing about these Jeff Galloway training plans is Run Disney actually provides them to you for free. So you can actually go on there. It gives you an entire training plan from start to finish, how many weeks it's gonna take, all the different mileage, all the different minutes you need to be doing every single week to be able to accomplish whatever pacing goal or mileage goal that you have. So it's a really cool and free resource for you, and like I said, I'll definitely link it down below for you if you are interested. So but like I said, right now my focus for the next 30 days is all about the 5K. I'm really for my entire life, I've just been a power walker. I was that kid in elementary and middle school, and even in a little bit in high school when we had to run. I was always like, I can power walk, and I don't really want to run. I always found excuses why I shouldn't run. But 2021, I really wanted to set a huge, huge goal for myself, kind of, take some inspiration from Walt Disney and chase the impossible. Because that's a really fun quote that I love that he says, is it's kind of fun to do the impossible. And so the impossible for me is to be able to even just run a mile, right? So right now it might seem silly, but that's a really big goal for me, is just to be able to eventually run a mile from start to finish completely nonstop, and eventually do a 5K, and then hopefully that increases to a 10K, and so on and so forth. So for the next 30 days, I am putting all my focus, all of my energy into learning how to run a 5K. So, but right now, if you've never done any of the research, or you're not, familiar with the Couch to 5K app, essentially what it is it's an app that you can get on your phone, and I'll actually put right here kind of a screenshot of what it looks like. But you can just it's kind of like a virtual coach, a running coach, where you do these 5-minute warm-ups, and then you have a 20-minute long walk, run method training session, and then a 5-minute cool down. So you do it 3 times a week for 30 minutes. And like I said, it's just kind of teaching you how to run. So, but along the way, it's kind of one of the things that I've heard, kind of there's always pros and cons to every single training program. But for me, it's like, I've heard a lot of really great advice from other runners about, just take it slow. Like if you can only run 30 seconds and you need to, walk for a minute, then do that. Like, don't push yourself too hard, because you're going to definitely risk injury. So definitely listen to your body. Listen to kind of like what your legs are telling you. Make sure to incorporate stretching and yoga into your routine, which is what I'll do in my off training days. But for right now, 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to be doing the run, walk, run method through Couch to 5K. And then on the off days, pretty much going to be either Tuesday and Thursday, or Tuesdays and Saturdays. I'm actually going to incorporate a lot of yoga stretching. And the yoga routine that I'm going to be doing is actually, it's called Breathe, and it was just introduced by Yoga with Adrienne. She's actually here on YouTube. I will link it below. So it's a free yoga program that you can also include, for free, and do it with your training routine. So I'm actually going to be doing both of those simultaneously. The yoga is incredibly important, and I learned that the hard way when I was training for a half marathon a couple of years ago, just including a lot of stretching, foam rolling, like really taking care of all of the different muscles in your body just to make sure that you're not going to injure yourself. So that's also a huge component to my training program this year, is making sure to stretch, for sure. So, but yeah, so couch to 5K for the next 30 days. I'm definitely going to take you guys along for the entire journey. On next week's episode, I'm actually going to bring you guys along with me for an entire training session. I'm going to show you what it's like to do a couch to 5K training session on the treadmill versus what it's like to do outdoors. Because, if y'all have never done it before, or if you're a veteran runner and I say treadmill training, I'm sure you're groaning right now because treadmill training is brutal. It really, really is, especially when you're learning how to run. It's really, really difficult, but right now in Atlanta, it is freezing cold. Like right now, it's 28 degrees outside, so it's a little bit too chilly for me to get outside and run. And I'm also an early bird, so I typically get up anywhere from 4:30 to 5:30 every single morning. And I like to be, getting my training sessions finished and completed no later than 7 a.m. because that's kind of like my morning routine. I have like a whole morning routine that I do before I start work every single day. So I have to have it done by 7 to be able to accomplish the other things that I incorporate with my morning routine. So all of that to say, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. It's still really, really dark here in Atlanta. It's not really safe to be running outdoors, at least, a woman by herself on a trail that's not lit. So for right now, I have to, really focus on the 30 days training on a treadmill, which for me, it seems like, yeah, that's going to be difficult. But because I've never really focused on the outdoor training, I feel like it's almost a blessing because I keep getting told that the outdoor training is so much more fun. It's so much easier. So I feel like, well, heck, if I can, nail down 30 days doing couch to 5K and rock those 30 days and get the 5K kind of like under my belt and feeling really comfortable with the interval training on a treadmill, hopefully by the time I start introducing the outdoor runs, it's going to be like so much easier and I'll be able to just increase my pacing. So that might be too big of a goal or too big of a, like an end in sight, but I'm hopeful that that's kind of like going to be the process. But like I said, I'm going to show you guys the good, bad, and ugly on these Runday Monday episodes. So, but I'll definitely let you guys know. But for right now, I have done a couple of the training sessions on a treadmill. I will tell you it is quite difficult, but I have found a couple of different little techniques that have made it really a lot easier for me. So I'll definitely bring you guys along for the journey next week. So you want to make sure you're subscribed if you're interested in watching. So all right, so that's my training plan for right now. Like I said, my 100% focus and energy is just getting used to doing a 5K. I'm starting slow, gonna keep it slow because I feel like if I can really get comfortable in 30 days, just, knocking out a 5K and feeling really comfortable, with the run, walk, run interval with a 5K, I feel like, and I've been told this by a lot of other runners, and if you're a veteran runner and you have comments or different ideas, let me know down in the comments below. But I keep getting told that like, if you can get a 5K, it's just gonna be so much easier to do the 10K, to do a half marathon, and then to eventually do a full, but really focus on that 5K. Like really focus on your form, your technique, your nutrition, your hydration, like really focus on the 5K, because once you can get that 5K kind of nailed down and complete, it'll be so much easier to add additional mileage. So that's my focus for these next 30 days is really, like I said, just to get the 5K, and get really comfortable with it and just kind of learn my running skill and running what my running routine looks like. How is that gonna work? So I'm still kind of navigating through that process, but it's been really fun so far. It really, really has been. I'm really enjoying it. And like I said, it's kind of fun to do the impossible. I get why Walt Disney says that because it's really, really true. So, All right, so the next thing I'm gonna chat with you guys about is all about, the different race schedule, different races that I have planned for this year. I honestly hesitated talking about this at all because, I mean, if I had filmed this in 2020, y'all would have known everything would have just been kind of completely turned upside down. And that has happened already a little bit this year, not that bad, but my fellow Atlantans, fellow Georgians, or those of you that have seen or heard in the last couple of days, there was a huge announcement here in Atlanta. And I'll get to that in just a second, but it's an in-person race. I'm so excited for it. It just kind of like sparked so much fire and motivation in me that I was like, all right, I got to get this 5K. I gotta get it nailed down because we only have till July. So, but my race schedule for right now is I'm actually going to be doing the Run Disney Princess Marathon weekend in February. That's actually February 20th through the 22nd. I'll take you guys along for that. So let me know if you guys are also participating. I was so hoping this one was gonna be in person because I've never done it before. I've seen in all kinds of beautiful videos done, people that have been able to do the Princess Half Marathon weekend at Disney, and it's just so magical to watch. But of course, 2020 has lingered over into 2021, and so that race is actually virtual, which is totally okay because I'm actually going to be able to do that race here in Atlanta. There's a local outdoor trail that we're going to end up doing, which will be a ton of fun. Like I said, I'm gonna bring you guys along for that entire race weekend, take you guys along for the process. I know that I was just talking about nailing down a 5K, and I'm doing the Fairytale challenge. And the Fairytale challenge is a 10K and a half marathon. So I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, well, Michelle, that kind of goes against what you just talked about. So, and that's true, but I'm kind of doing two things at once. So the Couch to 5K method is really like learning how to run. It's my interval training. And then, the Fairytale challenge was something that popped up towards the end of last year, and I'm just not ready to do the run, walk, run half marathon right now. I'm just not ready. I mean, I need to be honest with myself and with you guys. I'm not going to try to fake it. So I'll probably end up walking both that 10K and that half marathon, but I'm still going to do it. I've done a half marathon before. I've done the walking of it. So I know that I can complete that. It might be a little bit more difficult just because I haven't trained fully enough. So I'm definitely going to be listening to my body during that whole entire week, and I might have to change up the mileage a little bit. I don't know. So I'll keep you guys posted for that, but I'm not really necessarily training for that race. That one necessarily might be just kind of a fun race that I end up doing with my mom and with my husband. So, but that'll be that will be at the end of February. But to me, the kickstart, the beginning of race season for me ends up in April. So in April, I'm actually going to be doing the Star Wars 10K, which is really fun. That's all through Run Disney. It's another virtual race. It's another race I haven't done that I was really hoping would be in person, but it'll be virtual. But that, to me, that 10K is the first 10K that I will 100% be focusing towards the run, walk, run intervals, getting used to what it's like to do a 10K race, what the whole process of that is like. So for me, to me, that is like the kickstart of race season. So that race in April. Let me know if you guys are doing either one of those Run Disney races virtually. I'd love for us to all train virtually and to, cheer each other on virtually. It'll be a lot of fun. So, and I know a lot of people are really disappointed that these races aren't in person. I share your disappointment in that. And I think that Star Wars race, to be honest with you, will probably be my last virtual race that I'll do with Run Disney. And that is just because, for the price of one Run Disney virtual race, I can do probably 5, maybe even 6 in-person or virtual races, in my community that I live in. So I'm probably not going to do any more virtual races with Run Disney. It's just, I just don't really see the value, honestly, other than the medal. I think that's really what you're paying for, is really the medal. So anyway, so that will be kind of the Star Wars 10K in April will be my last virtual race. And then, like I said, that's going to be like the kickstart of my race season, which will be my very first 10K, because in July will be my very first in-person race, which is really exciting. Like I said just a few minutes ago, in the state of Georgia, there was like a huge announcement made. The Atlanta Track Club just announced that the Peachtree Road Race, which is probably, I think it's the world's largest 10K, and it's here in Atlanta. It's every single July 4th, and they actually just announced that it's going to happen in person this year, which is so amazing. So I'm definitely going to be signing up and training for that. If you guys live near Georgia or in Atlanta, or want an in-person race and you've been struggling to find an in-person race, then by golly, come and sign up for the Peachtree, because it's a really fun race. If you've never seen it or never heard about it, I'll link it up here for you guys to check it out, because I actually did that race back in 2019 with my mom, and it was a ton of fun. So I will definitely be bringing you guys along for that whole entire race journey. And like I said, that is July 4th, which will be super fun to be, I have like an actual in-person race event scheduled like on the calendar right now. Like I'm super pumped about it. So that'll be my second 10K that I'll do. So like I said, I have a 10K in April, a 10K in July, and then we get into the super swampy summer months here in the South, which outdoor racing is going to be quite difficult. So, you'll have to do like early morning training runs and things like that. So as people kind of navigate through the next couple of months and I start to find more in-person racing available, luckily a dear friend of mine is a really amazing race director here in Atlanta, and so he's actually already been we've been texting back and forth. He's been sharing with me a couple of races that have postponed from January, February, March into, kind of like the early fall months. So there might be a lot of really cool in-person racing that is happening here, but it won't have, of course, the Run Disney theme. And then my goal is to, once I nail down those two 5Ks in April and July, to start training again for the half marathon, which is so excited. I'm super pumped about that because I have done a half marathon before, but y'all, I walked the entire thing. I mean, I ran a little tiny bit of it. Like I ran at the beginning. This was the Run Disney race that I did back January of 2020. But I was just not as prepared as I will be for the next one. That's for sure. So, I know that I can do a half marathon for sure. Like it doesn't scare me like it did back in January of 2020. I know like for me, I've kind of gotten rid of that anxiety or that, the fear. I've actually accomplished that goal. So the fear of that mileage, it's just completely gone. So I know I can do a half marathon, but now it's like, I want to train and actually do the run, walk, run, and do a half marathon the right way, right? Like I really want to do it. So my goal is to be able to find a couple of local races, in like October, November, so I can add a half marathon, to my bucket of races this year. There's 2 races right now that are in Atlanta. I don't want to announce them just yet because they haven't been officially announced. But one half marathon is really cool. It has like this supernatural theme to it, which I think is really fun because it's October, kind of has a spooky vibe to it. And that's actually here locally, and the race course is really flat, which if you live in Georgia or Atlanta, you know that can be hard to find, or those flat courses, those flat trails. So the actual course looks relatively simple in nature, and it's an evening race, which I think would be really fun. So I'm hoping that one will happen so that I have 2 10Ks under my belt and a half marathon under my belt, because I'm a future goal setter, y'all. And my big goal for 2022 is actually to run a half marathon, which is so like scary and fun and exciting, like all those different emotions all in one, for sure. But that's my goal for 2022, because I know if you guys have followed along on my journey before, you know that I trained all of 2019 for my 2020 goal, which was to do the half marathon. So now I'm doing all this training and all these races in 2021 to be able to accomplish my 2022 goal of running a half marathon. And I know all of us are like saying all the prayers. We are doing everything we can. We want to wear masks and be super safe so that the marathon weekend at Disney actually happens in January of 2022. So right now, I get excited, and when I get excited, I talk really fast. So I hope you guys have been able to follow along, and I apologize. It's been a little bit scattered, but I just get really excited, and I just think like to be able to do a marathon at Disney World just sounds like it's just really magical. If you've never done a Run Disney race, it's just beyond magical. It's really fun to race to the castle, to run on Main Street, to run through Epcot. Like, I just think it's really fun. And for me, because I did the race back in 2020, and that was my very first Run Disney race, and the course was altered because of all the construction happening at Epcot, I think actually this race in 22, if it happens, well, I shouldn't say if, when it happens, we're gonna do that, right? We're gonna put positive in the air. So when that race happens in 2022 at Disney, I feel like it's gonna be even more magical because it's gonna be a whole new course for me to be able to run. So I'm really excited about it. Like I also have to keep, you know, realism in the back of my mind that things might change, things might happen. I need to be flexible with my goals and with, you know, the different training schedule and things like that. But for now, this is my routine. This is my schedule. April, July, for sure, those are 100% locked down. And then, like I said, as kind of we navigate through the summer months, I'm hoping to add at least 2 half marathons to my bucket of races towards the end of the year. And it might not be 2 half marathons. More than likely, it will just be 1. But I definitely want to get at least 1 under my belt in 2021. So yeah, so that's my training plan. Those are my race events that I have. Let me know what races you guys have planned this year. You know, are they virtual? Are they in person? You know, what do you guys have planned? Are you going to do the Peachtree Road Race if you live in or near Atlanta? Maybe it'd be cool for us to maybe get together safely and be able to like train and run virtually for the Peachtree Road Race. It's a really fun event. I mean, it's hot as anything, but it's a really fun race event. So yeah, let me know what races you guys are training for. And if you're new here, please introduce yourself down in the comments below. Let me know what races, you know, are you a first time runner? Are you a veteran runner? Is this your first time running? You know, let's just let's get to know each other down in the comments. It'll be really fun to just hear from you and just, you know, let's encourage one another and just motivate each other as we navigate through, you know, racing and training through 2021. So thanks so much for watching today. I really appreciate you guys tuning in to Runday Monday episode 2. And like I said, episode 3, I'm going to be taking you guys on the treadmill. You guys are going to be able to see what it's like to actually train with me. I'm going to take you through the whole entire process of what that's like. So make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Give this video a big thumbs up. I would super appreciate the support. And yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome week and I'll see you next Monday. Bye.